So in keeping with the theme of revisiting content that I created previously, we are going to read an article that I posted, I think it was back in 2021, maybe November of 2021. But nonetheless, that article, November 17th, 2021, and this was classified under random. So this article is called We Who Are Your Closest Friends. I have managed my own website for almost 20 years now. And during that time, it has been many things. Mostly it has served as a sandbox. This is where I got my start. This is where I experiment. This is where the familiar tension between creative expression and withdrawal is evident just by reviewing the frequency or lack thereof of the posts. That is how I learned how to code, first thought about design and products, and also where I started to write. I owe a lot to this website. Random story. But I was calling a septic company the other day to get an inspection done on a property we are buying. After giving the guy my email address, he paused and said, "Dude, you have your own domain?" I doubt he knew how easy it is to register for one. That is something that I take for granted, along with many other things. Anyone could figure these things out. My issue is that I am a generalist. It is both my greatest asset and also a constant source of confusion and aggravation. It is often the root of why I cannot consistently post content on, well, any platform. One day I might be building a custom farmhouse table, and the next day I'm shooting and editing a video, and then maybe doing some database work or creating a custom map. Like, what in the hell? You hear the word niche thrown around all the time. Find your niche. Stay in your niche. Niche, niche, niche. Oh, what if you have 5 niches? Sometimes, when I'm deep into the self-loathing slump, I wish I had one thing. Just one thing. Give me one thing. If I had just one thing, I would certainly be consistent with a podcast and YouTube videos and writing, and it is that simple. Of course, that is not the case. This is merely a carefully constructed excuse that has served me well for many years. This type of ridiculous thinking reminds me of a poem I read in a book recently. It speaks to the utter insanity that is going on in our minds regarding the outside world and the people in it. We Who Are Your Closest Friends, Lopate, 1943. We who are your closest friends feel the time has come to tell you that every Thursday we have been meeting as a group to devise ways to keep you in perpetual uncertainty, frustration, discontent, and torture by neither loving you as much as you want nor cutting you adrift. Your analyst is in on it, plus your boyfriend and your ex-husband, and we have pledged to disappoint you as long as you need us. In announcing our association, we realize we have placed in your hands a possible antidote against uncertainty, indeed against ourselves. But since our Thursday nights have brought us to a community of purpose rare in itself with you as the natural center, we feel hopeful you will continue to make unreasonable demands for affection, if not as a consequence of your disastrous personality, then for the good of the collective. We have been meeting as a group to devise ways to keep you in perpetual uncertainty. That is my favorite line. These are the thoughts that run through my head when I am struggling with what to make and for whom to make it. What would the audience think? Am I not sure what audience I am so concerned with? But their opinion is certainly important. You get so worried about how the game will end that you never even start it. Even at this moment, I am thinking, well, this post doesn't really vibe with your recent posts. There is no time for this. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. That is from Marcus Aurelius. Fitting to go from a 1943 poem to a Marcus Aurelius quote speaks to the range of my interests. However, I think Marcus was right, and that this could be applied here as well. Why waste any time arguing with myself over what I should or should not do? I should instead just do it, and whatever it is will reveal itself along the way. Sometimes you can see the path before you take the step, but sometimes you have to take the step to see the path. Me. It is easy to fixate on the outcome and lose sight of the process. You don't control the outcome. You control the process. These 3 items were on my desk yesterday. They were not neatly arranged in an Instagram-worthy way. That was constructed. But they were all there at the same time. I was putting away some of my gear, and my camera was sitting right next to these 2 books. One book on Stoicism and the other on data modeling. It was a perfect visual representation of the spectrum in which I operate on the daily. There is a niche out there for videography. There is a niche out there for stoicism. There is a niche out there for data modeling. But I cannot operate in 3 spaces. Oh, and don't forget Jeeps and construction. Add 2 more. As I work through this dump of thoughts, I feel compelled to come up with some form of great insight that all of a sudden simplifies everything and then proclaim a newfound dedication to making whatever it is I am going to make. That is how all the pros do it. I am, however, reminded of something I heard the other day in passing. A brand that is not for everyone. The context of that statement was for a brand that creates physical products, men's accessories. And it keeps bouncing around in my head. Not for everyone. Maybe the deep and obvious insight is just that. This is not for everyone. I am not for everyone. The art that I make and the things that I talk about, not for everyone. And that is okay. Let this serve as a reminder to myself and anyone else that is out there. Create your art. It is not for everyone. That is an interesting post from 2021. The picture that I mentioned is my Fujifilm X-T4 on top of the book Lives of the Stoics by Ryan Holiday and a book called Data Modeling Made Simple by Hoberman. This article really speaks to kind of a theme that I've just been struggling with. I mean, it's not even like I'm that much better at it now. And it being 2 or 3 years later, I feel like this project makes the most sense of anything that I've done in terms of trying to consolidate all these disparate interests. But I mean, that is a big concern, right? Everybody is talking about niche down, find something specific, just be that, just create content around that. That doesn't work for me. I've tried that, and what I end up doing is spreading myself way too thin. I end up having 57 different projects going, and I just don't have time for that. So this article speaks to that same thing. This is obviously top of mind back in 2021, still is top of mind today. At least now I am trying to do something about it through this podcast, through this new project, Pursuit of Utility. But for you, anyone out there who has multiple interests, that is actually a very good way to create tremendous value, is to find the intersection of 2 things. Right? Maybe you are a great videographer and you also are interested in investment banking. Maybe you can merge those things together and make some really cool videos that talk about investment banking, right? Maybe for me, I'm really interested in data modeling or data, and then I'm also doing marketing. So maybe I can merge those 2 things and be really, really good at the data side of marketing. So I don't think it is the case that you cannot merge things together to create additional value. I just think it is more complicated. But that's okay, right? Because like I said in this post, it's not for everyone. So if you like this podcast, consider subscribing, sharing it with a friend. Not sure what the next one will be about. Probably be another article. Might try to find something a little bit different just to mix it up. But until next time, keep trying to reclaim your agency, because being useful is important. And I think the more useful you are, the better you will feel. And who doesn't want that? Until next time, see ya.